Hi guys, my name's Katherine. I'm one of the tutors here at Chegg. I typically tutor science, some math, English, and Spanish. And today we are talking about a topic that is covered in biology and maybe pharmacokinetics and psychology, which is different types of antidepressants. So before we talk about the different types of antidepressants, I think it's important to cover how we think depression works. So in your brain, you have a bunch of what are called neurotransmitters, and these are molecules that different cells in your brain, called neurons, send from one cell to the other in order to communicate information. And there's a lot of different types of neurotransmitters, but the three that are important for this story are acetylcholine, which is shortened by writing ACH for acetylcholine, norepinephrine, which we're going to shorten to NE, which is also called adrenaline sometimes, or over here it's called noradrenaline, and serotonin, which we actually are going to just write out. Serotonin. T-O-N, serotonin. There we go. And I actually realized something over here is spelled wrong. So, noradrenaline. There we are. Okay, so when you have depression, your body is not making enough norepinephrine, or your brain's not making enough norepinephrine or enough serotonin, or possibly it's making too much acetylcholine. Acetylcholine inhibits the effects of serotonin. So if you have too much acetylcholine, even if you had enough serotonin or norepinephrine, you might still run into some problems. So what all types of antidepressants have in common is that they work to restore the balance in your brain between acetylcholine, norepinephrine, and serotonin. And there's a couple different ways that we can do that. So a very basic picture of a neuron. Actually, you know what? Rather than doing that, I'm just going to make another slide. Okay, so this is a very basic picture of a neuron where we have here two different neurons. So we'll put this one like this. And let's draw a bunch of little receptors on it, like this. Little receptor ports. And then here we'll draw another one here. So two neurons with a synapse in between. Ooh, okay. Apologize for how that looks. And in this one we will put, well, actually it would have some of those, so I'll leave them in. But more what we're going to draw is little vesicles. We'll make them green as well. Leaving here with different neurotransmitters, which we'll put in here, just like that. And then we've also got some neurotransmitters that are just flying free. And what they're going to do is they're going to travel hopefully over here to one of these ports, bind to a receptor, and then send some sort of signal down the axon of this neuron here. Let's say that these orange dots, this is, we'll make it norepinephrine. Or it's acetylcholine, or sorry, it's definitely not acetylcholine, but maybe it's norepinephrine, maybe it's serotonin, which we'll here just put as 5-HT, which is the abbreviation for serotonin. Okay. So in order to increase the number of the amount of serotonin and norepinephrine that get over here, there's a couple different things you could do, and you might be able to think about some of these. So, you know, we could increase the amount that are released into this area. That would be good. If we decrease the amount of serotonin that's that gets in the way, that's also good. And also there's a process called reuptake where all of where some of these neurotransmitters can be taken back up into this previous cell. And if you already have a limited amount of neurotransmitter in the synapse, we don't want that, because what will happen is as we take it up, that's less left in the in the synapse, which makes the problem even worse. There's also enzymes that can come in here and take away large amounts of neurotransmitter to be broken down. Over here, we don't want that either. So all of the medications for all of the antidepressants are used to, in some way, make sure that there's increased norepinephrine or serotonin getting to the receptors in the second cell. So let's talk about the different types. So first we have SSRIs. This S stands for selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. And what they're for is they stop this process here. They stop the reuptake of serotonin back into the previous cell, meaning that there's more in the synapse to hopefully bind to the receptors in the target cell. Next, we have SNRIs. This S is not for selective. This is for serotonin and norepinephrine or noradrenaline reuptake inhibitors. It works pretty much the same way, taking both serotonin and norepinephrine and stopping them from being reuptaken from the previous cell, from the cell that they were sent from. Noradrenaline reuptake inhibitors were just for norepinephrine. So to draw lines, this one affects just this one. This, we're going to write 5-HT up here for ease, which is the same thing as serotonin. So we'll cross that off for clarity. So this one affects that one. This one only is a reuptake inhibitor here. This does both of these. Hopefully that was clear. Tricyclics do both of these things, and they also decrease the amount of acetylcholine in the synapse. This way, we have an even better chance of getting serotonin and norepinephrine into our target cell. And finally, we have what are called MAOIs. So this stands for monoamine oxidase inhibitor. Monoamine oxidase works to break down these things, the norepinephrine and the serotonin that are in the synapse. This process here in red, that's done by an MAO, a monoamine oxidase. So by stopping this process, we stop the breakdown of these neurotransmitters, thus also increasing the chance that they'll get into our target cell and send a signal down the axon. And so that does it for the main types of antidepressants. There are some other types out there. If you have any questions, I am always available for private tutoring on Chegg.